today is a beautiful renovation of a Victorian home that belongs to one of Suzanne's colleagues. Take a look.
It's always really exciting to me to find a house that's been done by a person without a design background when they do it fabulously, and that's exactly what this house is all about. It's been done by my friend Mark Challen, who I work with, and he's done a fantastic job of restoring this house to its original charm. Now, what it was originally was a Victorian that had been redone in the 80s, and at that point it had all of those 80s kind of hallmarks, things like shag carpeting and mauve walls. But what he's done is he's brought back some of that original Victorian charm and made it really warm. So if you look around, you'll see that one of the things that really shows us that it's an 80s house is this huge opening up here, which was a big move back then to do these sort of 3-story openings. Now, I think it's a great thing for this house because it's small. It's only 14 feet wide. This room, if it didn't have this soaring ceiling, would feel really, really small. He's chosen a pedestal table. It's actually a table that he got from a film set, so he got it for a really good deal. And you can see that a square room like this is actually perfect for a pedestal table because you can sit around 8 to 10 people around this table, which is amazing for such a small house. Now, some of the things he's done is he's added the molding on the walls to give it some texture and detailing. The coach lanterns, which are a very perfect choice for a Victorian looking house. Mirrors, of course. Mirrors are big in this space because it's going to make the room feel bigger. So this one is giant on the wall. If you look around, you'll know that Mark is a person who loves to travel. There's all kinds of things in this room that tell you about that. And I love that when you're in a space and you get a sense of who actually lives there. There's all sorts of vintage books, a globe, things that he's found in his travels. And of course, he also loves art because there's some great looking art on the walls here too. 2 of the pieces, the big blue ones, were actually done by a friend of his. So he got those for a score as well.
Beautiful home, tons of collections there, and there are so many of our viewers and so many people out there that like to group their collections together and just collect something special, and you have something that always has a story that's special to you. So let's talk a little bit about collections. What do you collect?
Yes, we were talking about this during the break. I'm not a minimalist.
I am.
I am a maximalist. So this is my library here. And I am a book person.
So he's got a few books, like 1 or 2. Look at that. This whole room is all books, like floor to ceiling, which is my dream. I want to live in a library.
This is the room.
That is beautiful. But there are books everywhere in your house.
Everywhere. I read
Absolutely
all the
everywhere.
time. You'll see me in the airport, in the plane.
So you actually read all the books?
I read. I
remember you telling me that a long time ago.
I do read. I love books.
But they add so much warmth. That's the thing that's so great about books.
They're so beautiful. And then I collect what's called basalt. And basalt is a black clay. All this is made by Wedgwood. They still make it today. These are from the 17 and 1800s. And basalt is a clay that comes out of the ground black naturally. Yeah. So all these pieces you see, there's no glaze on them. The clay is jet black matte.
That's so cool.
So I've got that, and then there's a few more. Look how elaborate they were.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
I always love old things because I think, where was it? Who held it? What house was it in? If these piees could talk,
so that's why you just keep an eye out for them when you're traveling?
I do. Yeah. I do. If I see them in an antique shop or a market, I'll buy them. I have to stop the houses. Like,
well, that's the thing. That's the thing. You have to be careful.
But it's all meticulously organized, you see, so it's okay. You're allowed to have stuff. It's on the verge.
It's on the verge of meticulous and chaos.
Suzanne, you're a minimalist. So
I don't collect a lot.
You don't collect a lot, but you have friends, colleagues at work that do have collections.
I do, yeah.
So we have one here, beautiful. You know, they're like white glass.
It's actually ceramic. It's from,
ceramic?
Yeah, it's from a ceramicist from the 70s called Peter Muller, and it's for a company called Scrafo. So my friends love mid-century modern. They love modern design.
It's beautiful.
And so they actually are on eBay all the time. All the time, keeping their eye out for something from this product line, and their house is filled with it.
Beautiful, and that's the way to do a collection, right?
Well, it looks fantastic.
Yeah,
right?
it absolutely does.
Yeah.
Okay, now maybe you can explain this next picture that's going to come up.
So
what are these?
So those are like those turkey domes, right, for cooking.
Silver domes.
And they're made out of pewter.
Yes.
That's Margot Austin. She works at House and Home. That's her place. She has tons of collections, but like small groupings of things. And I love how she set them up above, like next to the door on the wall, hanging them like a piece of art.
That's such a good idea. I love that. Okay, so we also went out to our viewers and we asked, okay, what do you collect? We have Branka from Hamilton. She sent us these pictures. She collects antique irons and keys because they remind her of her childhood in Serbia. And she says they're very dear to her and her friends. And her family they give her gifts based on this theme, which is really nice.
Okay, that
she's
is
framed them up.
So cool.
Yeah,
That's
fun.
the way to do a collection.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want it to go all crazy and be everywhere. You put them nicely and
Right.
organize
Assemble.
them.
Yeah.
She's found a way to do that nicely and frame it, and I think that looks really nice. Okay, so this is kind of quirky. I love it. City Line viewer Carrie Craven, she collects metal lunch pails. She says she always wanted her mother's Roy Rogers lunchbox, and now it is the feature of the collection. So Carrie looks for boxes themed on TV shows and movies she loved from the 70s.
These are
fun.
so
That's
cool.
Isn't that
super fun.
cool?
See, I would
she
do
did a
that
great
in
job.
a kitchen with open cabinets and
Yeah.
just have shelves in my kitchen full of that.
Yeah, because it gives it a vintage
personality,
flavor, right?
right?
Very.
Yeah, that's great.
These are great things.